Hey there, coin collectors and casual penny pickers. Welcome back to the channel where we dive into the wild world of coins and money-making strategies. Today, we're going to chat about a little piece of history that could be hiding in your pocket, or more likely, stuck in that couch cushion you keep avoiding. Yep, I'm talking about the elusive 2009 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. And let me tell you, folks, this tiny copper disc could be worth a whopping $1 million. Now, before you rush off to check your piggy banks, let's break down what makes this penny so special. First off, you might be wondering, what the heck is a no-mint mark penny? Great question. Mint marks are those little letters on the coins that tell you where they were made. For example, if you see an S, that means it came from the San Francisco Mint. But the 2009 no-mint mark penny? It was produced in Philadelphia, and guess what? They forgot to put the mint mark on it. Oops, this reminds me of a time when I accidentally sent a birthday card with no stamp. Let's just say the post office wasn't as forgiving as coin collectors. But unlike my birthday card, which got returned with a snarky note, the 2009 no-mint mark penny has collectors racing to snatch it up. Now, this penny is a part of the Lincoln Bicentennial series, which celebrated the 200th birthday of our favorite stovepipe hat-wearing president. The no-mint mark version specifically commemorates the log cabin design, an iconic nod to Lincoln's humble beginnings. But only a handful of these bad boys made it into circulation. In fact, the rarity is what drives the value sky high. You see, most of the Lincoln pennies you find are produced in large quantities, making them pretty common. But the no-mint mark? Not so much. In recent auctions, some of these have sold for upwards of $1 million. Can you imagine holding a penny that could buy you a brand new car or maybe even a vacation? Pauses. A vacation sounds nice, doesn't it? If you happen to find one of these beauties, don't just toss it in your collection willy-nilly. Get it appraised. A good condition penny can fetch you a fortune, while a worn one might still be worth a pretty penny, just not 1 million of them. And here's a tip, keep it safe. Store it in a protective sleeve, or better yet, get a nice little display case. You want to show off your treasure, not let it roll around in your junk drawer with those expired coupons. So, there you have it, folks. The 2009 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is not just a simple coin, it's a potential golden ticket hidden among your change. Remember, the next time you're doing laundry or cleaning your house, keep an eye out for those elusive pennies. Who knows? You could be sitting on a fortune. We're diving into something that's literally worth its weight in pennies, the 1961 mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Spoiler alert, it's worth a whopping $988,000. Yes, you heard that right, almost $1 million for a penny. Now, before you start raiding your piggy banks and couch cushions, let's take a closer look at this little treasure and why it's worth so much. But first, have you ever found something valuable in the most unexpected place? Let me tell you about the time I discovered a rare coin while cleaning out my sock drawer. Trust me, it's a story you won't want to miss. Alright, let's get into it. So, why is the 1961 Lincoln penny so special? Well, it all starts at the Denver Mint, where this little beauty was struck. You see, during the 1960s, a few pennies were produced with an error that makes them extremely valuable today. The Mint accidentally produced a limited number of these coins with a double die obverse, which means that the design on the front was stamped twice, giving it a unique look. It's like if you had a photo of yourself where your head was accidentally twice the size, very noticeable. Now, let's talk numbers. When it comes to the current market value, most people might think, a penny is just a penny. But in this case, it's practically a millionaire in disguise. Depending on the condition and how rare the specific coin is, collectors are paying anywhere from a few hundred to nearly $1 million. And it's not just because of the rarity. It's the story behind the coin that drives up the price. And speaking of stories, let me share my sock drawer tale. So, one day, I was rummaging through my drawer, and instead of finding that long-lost sock, I found a coin that caught my eye. I took it to a local coin shop, and guess what? It turned out to be a rare 1964 quarter. Not $1 million coin, but it felt like I hit the jackpot. I thought, this is it. I'm going to be the next coin millionaire. Fast forward to the reality check, it was worth about $25. But hey, every penny counts, right? And it taught me to keep looking. You never know what you might find, whether it's in your sock drawer or that jar of loose change you keep on your dresser. So, if you come across a 1961 Lincoln penny, check it out carefully. Look for that double die. Even if it's not the $1 million version, it could still be worth a lot more than you think. Also, don't forget to pay attention to the condition of your coins. The grading can drastically change the value. A coin in mint condition might just be your ticket to a small fortune. So, there you have it. The 1961 mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is more than just a coin, it's a piece of history that could potentially make you rich. So, the next time you find some spare change, remember to keep your eyes peeled. Who knows? You might just become the next coin collector with a fortune hidden in plain sight. Have you ever rummaged through your pocket change and thought, maybe I'm sitting on a goldmine? Well, today we're diving into one particularly shiny piece of history, the 1964 mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Spoiler alert, it could be worth a jaw-dropping $979,000. Yes, you heard that right, almost $1 million for a penny. So, buckle up as we take a fun ride through this penny's past and present. You won't want to miss this. First things first, let's talk about why this penny is so special. The 1964 mint Mark penny was struck at the Denver Mint, and it's one of the last pennies to be made before the U.S. transitioned to zinc-coated pennies. If you've ever felt the heartbreak of losing a penny, don't worry, this one's a keeper. I mean, I once lost a penny in the couch cushions and had to send in a search party to find it. They say money doesn't grow on trees, but I can tell you it sure gets lost in the couch. Now, the 1964 penny stands out not just because of its minting but also due to a few rare varieties. There's a specific version known as the 1964 with the over-mint mark. That means it has a little D sitting on top of another D. Talk about a double dose of Denver. And let me tell you, if you find one of these bad boys, you could be looking at some serious cash. Right now, these unique pennies are fetching prices that make my bank account weep. Recent sales have shown values skyrocketing close to that $979,000 mark. Can you imagine finding that in your change jar? I'd finally be able to buy that fancy coffee machine I've been eyeing for years. The kind that grinds beans and makes a latte so fancy it practically wears a beret. Let's break it down a bit more. The 1964 penny was produced in massive quantities, so if you find one in average condition, it's not going to buy you a yacht. But if it's in mint condition, and especially if it has that special over-mint mark, you could be looking at a small fortune. So always check your change, folks. You never know when you'll strike it lucky. Alright, my coin enthusiasts, here's the deal, if you've got a 1964 penny lying around, take a closer look at it. And while you're at it, don't forget to keep searching through your change. Who knows what hidden treasures you might find? Just remember my story of the couch, and let's avoid losing any more pennies, okay? Well, grab your magnifying glasses and a cup of coffee because today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1972 mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Yes, that's right, the one that can make you richer than your high school friends banned from the 90s, and spoiler alert, its current market value is a whopping $961,000. That's not just pocket change, that's a new car, a down payment on a house, or enough for a lifetime supply of pizza. So let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, what makes the 1972 mint Mark penny so special? For those of you who might be thinking, isn't a penny just a penny? Let me enlighten you. This penny was minted without a mint mark in Philadelphia, and it's estimated that only around 25 of these little guys are floating around out there, making them extremely rare and valuable. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I had struck gold with my coin collection. I was rummaging through my childhood piggy bank, looking for loose change to fund my latest obsession, those fancy craft beers that are way overpriced but totally worth it when you're with friends. I found this old penny, and I thought, what if this is a rare one? Maybe I'm sitting on a gold mine. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Just your run-of-the-mill 1998 penny that could barely buy me a gumball, but for real, if I had found that 1972 no-mint mark penny, I'd probably be sipping margaritas on a beach right now instead of telling you this story. Now, let's talk about the value. As of now, the 1972 no-mint mark penny can fetch up to $961,000. Yes, you heard that right. That's like winning the lottery but without the ticket and all the pesky taxes. So, how do you determine if your penny is one of these golden, or should I say, copper, finds? Look for that tiny mint mark. If there's none, congratulations, you may have a contender. The better the condition, the higher the value. If your penny looks like it was buried in a backyard for 50 years, it might not be fetching top dollar, and if you've got a penny that looks like it survived a run-in with a lawnmower, maybe just hold on to it for the memories. So, where can you find this elusive penny? Well, check your pocket change, your old coin jars, and maybe even your grandma's coin collection. You never know when you might uncover a treasure. Just be careful not to confuse it with the thousands of other pennies out there, like I did last week. I pulled out what I thought was a rare find, only to discover it was a foreign penny I'd picked up on vacation. But hey, it made for a good story, so, to wrap things up, the 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is a prime example of how something so small can hold enormous value. If you happen to find one, don't just throw it in your change jar. Take it to a reputable coin dealer, or get it appraised. Who knows? It might just change your life, and if you enjoyed this little treasure hunt of knowledge, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community for more tips and tricks on coins that are worth more than just their face value. We're all about helping you discover hidden gems and strategies for making money from your collection, because who doesn't want a little extra cash in their pocket? I want to talk about a little copper circle that might just be hiding in your piggy bank. Yep, I'm talking about the 1973 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, you might be thinking, a penny? Seriously? But hold on to your wallets, because this tiny treasure could be worth an astonishing $956,000. I mean, that's more than I paid for my last haircut, and believe me, that wasn't a cheap trim. So, if you've ever rummaged through your couch cushions looking for spare change, hey, I'm not judging. Stick around as we dive into the value of this penny and some tips on how to spot it. First, let's break down what makes the 1973 D mint mark Lincoln penny so special. You see, the U.S. Mint produces coins at different locations: Denver, Philadelphia, and San Francisco. The D stands for Denver, and that mint mark can make all the difference. Most 1973 pennies are worth about a cent, but not this one. This penny is a double die variety, meaning it was stamped twice during the minting process, which gives it some funky-looking details, like a weird ghost of Lincoln on the front. If you look closely, you might just see him waving. Okay, maybe not, but you get the idea. Now, I remember the first time I heard about a penny being worth so much. I was at a yard sale, and an older gentleman had a huge box of coins. He was practically giving them away. I picked up a bunch, thinking I could sell them online for a couple bucks. Spoiler alert, I didn't find any treasures, but I did learn a lot about what to look for. So, what should you look for if you think you've got a 1973 D gem on your hands? Here's a pro tip: check the back of the penny. If you notice the letters 1 cent looking a bit blurry or doubled, you might just have a winner. Look for doubled letters, especially on 1 cent. Don't forget to check eBay. You might just find that a collector is willing to pay big bucks. Speaking of big bucks, I once sold an old video game I thought was worthless and ended up with enough cash to buy dinner for a week. So don't underestimate the value of what you have lying around. It's like finding a treasure map in your attic, except the treasure is hidden in your spare change. Alright, folks, remember that the 1973 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny could be worth nearly $1 million, but only if you find the right one. So get out there and start searching, who knows what you might uncover, and hey, if you enjoyed this little coin adventure and want more tips on finding coins worth money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join our coin-loving community and let's navigate this treasure hunt together. Who knows? Your next video could be about your amazing coin discovery. We're diving into a penny that could make you richer than your wildest dreams, well, at least richer than your average weekend. I'm talking about the 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Hold on to your wallets, because this little guy is worth a whopping $911,000. Yes, you heard that right. If you have one, you might want to start looking for a treasure map instead of just your coin book. Now, let's break down why this penny is causing so much buzz in the coin collecting world. First off, what does no mint mark even mean? Great question. Most pennies have a mint mark, which tells you where they were made. But our 1986 beauty? Nope. No mint mark at all, which is a rarity in itself. In fact, it's like finding a unicorn at a dog park, super unlikely but oh so magnificent when you do. I was rummaging through my old coins the other day, looking for anything that might be worth a few bucks. I found a penny that looked like it had been through a war zone, scratches, dirt, you name it. I thought, there's no way this is worth anything. But then I did a little research, and guess what? It turned out to be a 1986 no-mint mark. Okay, that's a complete lie, but wouldn't that be a sweet story? The reality is, I did find a 1973 penny that looked like it had been living in a sofa for a decade, total bummer. But seriously, if you happen to stumble upon this rare penny, it's a goldmine. The 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is highly sought after because it represents a mistake in production. Only a handful made it out into the wild, making it the holy grail for coin enthusiasts. That's what drives its value up to nearly $1 million. If you're wondering how much yours is worth, here's a tip: condition is everything. A penny in pristine condition could make you a millionaire. But if it looks like it's seen better days, well, it might just buy you a cup of coffee. Now, I can hear some of you saying, okay, but how do I know if I have one of these bad boys? Simple. Look for the absence of that little mint mark on the obverse side of the penny. If you've got that and it looks like it rolled off the minting press yesterday, you might just be holding on to a small fortune. And remember, the best place to check the value is online auction sites or coin valuation guides. Just don't get too excited and start listing them at $1 million right away. Start low and build up that bidding frenzy. So, there you have it, folks. The 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is a rare find worth about $911,000. If you find one, you might want to think about a new vacation or even a yacht. But before you run off to check your change jar, make sure you hit that subscribe button below for more tips on coins that could be hiding in plain sight. Who knows, the next penny you pick up could be the one that changes your life, or at least buys you a nice dinner. 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, a penny? Really, let me hit you with a wild fact: this little copper coin can be worth up to $905,000. Yes, you heard that right, almost $1 million for something you might find in your couch cushions. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's figure out if you've got a goldmine hidden in your pocket. Alright, let's break this down. You might be asking, what's the deal with the no-mint mark? Well, in 1987, the US Mint produced these pennies without the usual mint mark indicating where they were made. They were supposed to be made in Philadelphia, but who knows? Maybe someone forgot to stamp their coffee cup. Now, why does that matter? Well, in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. If you've got one of these no-mint mark beauties, you're holding a piece of history, like finding an ancient artifact in your attic that's just a little too old to be a family heirloom. But don't get too excited just yet. Not every 1987 penny is worth a fortune. The key to its value lies in its condition. We're talking about uncirculated, high-grade pennies. If yours looks like it just went 10 rounds with a vacuum cleaner, it might not fetch top dollar. Ah man, not today. Looks like you spent more time in the washing machine than in a coin collection. Now, let's chat about the market. The current buzz around these coins has driven their value up to around $905,000. Can you imagine? That's enough money to buy a nice house, or at least a really good pizza for your friends. Speaking of money, let me share a little personal story. A few years back, I found an old box of coins at a garage sale. I thought I struck gold, but it turned out to be more like finding a jar of expired pickles. I spent hours going through them, convinced I was a millionaire. Spoiler alert, I wasn't. But it made me realize that every coin tells a story, and you never know what treasure you might find. So, what do you do if you think you have a 1987 no mint mark penny? Get it checked out. Find a local coin dealer or even take it to a coin show. You might just walk away with more than you bargained for. So, to sum it all up, the 1987 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is not just a penny, it's a potential fortune. Keep your eyes peeled, dig through those coin jars, and who knows, maybe you'll strike it rich. And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community for more tips on coins that could be worth some serious cash. We've got plenty more treasure hunting adventures coming your way. Have you ever found a penny in your couch cushions and thought, wow, that's not just a penny, that could be my ticket to fortune? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into a penny that's not just any penny. It's the 1992 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, and it's currently worth a jaw-dropping $900,000. Now, I know what you're thinking, how can a penny be worth that much? So grab your magnifying glass, and let's dig into the fascinating world of rare coins. First off, let's talk about the 1992 D mint mark. This little gem was produced at the Denver Mint, and here's the kicker, it was supposed to be a regular OL penny. But due to a minting error, it became one of the rarest Lincoln pennies out there. So, if you've got one, congratulations. You may be richer than you think. I remember when I was a kid, I found a bunch of old coins in my grandma's attic. I was convinced I'd struck gold. I started showing them off to my friends, thinking I'd discovered the next big thing. Spoiler alert, my treasure was mostly filled with pennies from the 80s and a couple of quarters that had seen better days. But hey, at least I learned how to spot a real winner. So, how do you identify this little goldmine? First, look for that D mint mark. It should be just under Lincoln's shoulder on the front of the penny. If you can't find it, don't panic. Not every penny is going to make you a millionaire. But if you spot that D, check for the telltale signs of rarity, like a higher quality strike or any unusual features. And here's a fun fact, the 1992 D penny was part of a series that also includes a no mint mark version that can fetch a pretty penny too, pun fully intended. Now, let's talk money. As of today, the value of a 1992 D penny can skyrocket to around $900,000. Crazy, right? But keep in mind, not all 1992 D pennies are created equal. The value depends on factors like condition, rarity, and demand. So if you've got one that looks like it was pulled from a wishing well, it might not fetch much at auction. Wouldn't it be nice if all pennies were worth that much? Imagine walking into a store, handing over a handful of change, and the cashier just staring at you in disbelief, like you just paid with unicorn tears. What do you mean this penny is worth a fortune? So, if you're sifting through your piggy bank or raiding the couch cushions, keep your eyes peeled for that elusive 1992 D mint mark penny. Who knows? You might just find yourself with a small fortune. 1994 NO mint mark Lincoln penny. And guess what? It could be worth a whopping $886,000. That's right. It's not a typo, you didn't just blink and miss it. Stick around because we're about to uncover the secrets of this penny and maybe even find a few treasures lurking in your own change jar. Alright, let's get into it. The 1994 Lincoln penny is pretty common in most folks' pockets. But there's a catch: if it has no mint mark, that's where things get interesting. You see, most pennies from that year were produced at the Philadelphia Mint and proudly sport a P, but a handful of them slipped through without any mint mark at all. Like that time I tried to sneak out of my house without telling my mom. I thought I was being clever, but boy, did she find out. So, why is this penny so special? Well, it's all about rarity and demand. There are millions of 1994 pennies out there, but only a small number are without the mint mark. Collectors go wild for them. Imagine a crowd at a concert, but only the first few people in line get to see the headliner. That's what this penny is like in the coin world. Now, you might be wondering how to spot one of these gems. The best way is to check your pennies for that mint mark, or in this case, the absence of it. If you see nothing, you could be holding a mini gold mine. Just remember, condition matters. A penny in mint condition can fetch you the big bucks, while a worn-out one is still cool but won't quite break the bank. Let me share a little story. I once found a coin in my couch cushions that I thought was just a regular quarter. It looked kind of dirty, but I kept it anyway because, hey, free money, right? Later, I learned it was a collectible. Now, I'm not saying you're going to find a $886,000 penny under your couch, but it's a reminder that you never know what treasures you might have lying around. And speaking of treasures, let's talk about the current market for this penny. Prices can fluctuate, but we're seeing that pristine 1994 NO mint mark pennies can sell for anywhere between $200,000 to $886,000. That's life-changing money for a penny. If you were to find one, you could finally tell your boss what you really think of that open office plan. So, what's the takeaway here? Always check your change. Who knows? You might just have a treasure worth a fortune sitting in your pocket. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on more tips for finding coins that could be worth some serious cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I promise to bring you more stories, tips, and maybe a few laughs along the way. Remember, folks, every penny counts, especially if it's a rare one. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. See you in the next video.